Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike coming at you with the weekly news and review for August the 25th, 2024. And of course, we got news for Transformers. We got some updates on old projects. We got some updates on new projects. Good stuff. Also, getting into some superpowers. Okay. More of the same, but different. Is that the way to classify that? Cowabunga. There is a lot of turtle news this week, and I gotta admit I'm a little turtled out, but still, there's a lot of stuff going on, so I'll be covering it, and it is kind of fun. And very little Star Wars news, including the death of Acolite. We'll talk about this and more coming up. Starting out with this news shows the Joy Toy Source 1/18th scale Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Tmnt, Rocksteady, and Bebop, both available for pre-order right now. $1 down. They're going to be $41.99 a piece. You get the double down discount kind of thing. Late October expected release date. They look kind of cool, but they are $41 for a approximately 5-inch figure in the 3.75-inch scale. But they're big figures. Also for pre-order, Shozi Store is X-Transbots MX61 Ballistic or Misfire. So yes, they are making a Misfire. And actually, this is another one of those things that X-Transbots is making that is going to probably cost about the same as getting this figure from Hasbro on the secondary market. So you get a Masterpiece version for around the $100 mark. It might be $120. I don't know the price yet. And that's about what the Hasbro Titan Returns version is going for right now. So that's pretty impressive, and this will probably even be a better figure overall. Does look really cool. Has the Target Master in the alt mode. Is really cool looking figure, and that's $2 down. Shozi Store TH reviewer code if you're interested in picking this up. Also, they have a toy version, the MX61T. They also call it the youth version, but yeah, it still looks pretty cool. Interesting overall if you like the toy look to this character. And there has not been very many versions of this character over the past few years, or the past few decades. Here is the toy version in the alt mode with the Target Master transformed in the bot of the Target Master. Anyway, really cool, exciting. I pre-ordered both. Sticking with X-Transbots, we've got their next of their Constructicons. They're calling him Razor. Is that what it says? The 45 Razor? And it looks pretty good. Now, I gotta say the bot mode is more of a throwback or a call to the vintage toy. And maybe it's not the greatest, most perfect bot mode, but I'm actually going to display mine in the combined mode. That's my ultimate goal. So looking at the alt mode looks pretty decent. It's not perfect either, but when you get to the arm, see, that's where it's all going to come together for me. But looking at the arm, I think it's a nice looking arm. I mean, really, it's a good looking arm. It gets the job done, and that's what I'm looking for in this. Does it look decent in all modes? Yes. But the arm itself, and obviously this is going to be some add-on parts. It's not all that hidden inside there. It's not an all-in-one like MMC's doing, but I'm A-okay with the arm being like this. Works for me. I'm happy with it, and I really feel like they're going to get theirs finished before Fans Lose. X-Transbots putting out another picture of their Gian, the MX32, and they're working on their Defensor. They're moving along with it, and this is the next one, and looks pretty good. This appears to be the prototype, not just renders, and coming along quite fine. Got this pre-ordered also. Looking forward to taking a look at it, checking it out. And they're showing the packaging for their MX24 Yaguchi Omnibot Downshift, and showing how the packaging is integrated to flow through all of the different characters. So you can actually see part, if you look at the left side, you see part of the other Omnibot's leg in there too, so that you can make a little collage of the three with the artwork, which is kind of cool. Advanced planning that has to go into all of this to make this happen. And yeah, that looks cool. But I'm more interested in the bot, and bot is coming. Iron Shan's putting out pictures of their Victory Leo so that you can get your Star Saber doubled up and armored up. But I'm a little disappointed that all they're putting out is drawings. I just, at this point, it's been so long. Why not have an actual prototype to show us? And so there's nothing really to get excited about. And maybe this is just fueling a fire. But it's been so long. And I put all my ducks in a row here, or eggs in this basket, I guess you could say. But still, I mean, it's nice to see the pictures of what might be one day eventually, which kind of makes that HasLab more enticing, the one they did already, because they've got all the components and it's built and it's done and it's over, and it wasn't very expensive overall. 180 wasn't bad, so it makes that project look like a better project now because this is taking so long. And then here it is, just the bot mode by itself. But Victory Leo. Iron Trans, hope they get on it. Hope they move a little faster in the future. So Venomous Addicted Photography took a pretty good picture of the new thrust that is based on the 3.0/2.0 Seeker mold, and it compared it to the iGear. Now the iGear's at least 12 years old, and this is, what, a year and a half old mold for the most part, maybe 2 years. And with it, I have to admit, I think it looks really good. The new one looks really good. It's a little on the short side because the Takara mold is a little on the short side. And I'm going to be taking a look at this pretty soon myself, but I don't have the iGear to compare it to, so shout out to this great picture taken by Venomously Addicted Photography. Kane Toys is coming out with their version of Swoop. They've got some more pictures this week, and it definitely looks different, stylized, not the Swoop that we're used to seeing, but it's still pretty cool. It is definitely interesting. I wouldn't mind taking a look at it. Swoop is my favorite Dinobot, and this is probably my favorite mode for this particular one. And yeah, it looks cool. It looks interesting, sort of a futuristic kind of Swoop in a way, but there it is, the CT Longyano 2. We got in-hand pictures of 3 zeros. It's the MDLX Sideswipe. And I talked about it last week. I went ahead, I've got one coming. I'm going to be taking a look at and reviewing. I think it looks really cool. It's really interesting. The things that they can pull off with this, because it doesn't have to transform, are things that you really can't exactly pull off with the transforming version, which Sideswipe's a character that could definitely benefit from not having to transform. There's a handful of figures that it's just hard to overcome some of the issues, like the mass shifting of the chest downward to a smaller chest. It's just a pain in the transformation. They don't have to worry about that. They can just make it, but it is still stylized, but I think it looks really cool. Anyway, cool looking figure, 3-0, and you can get it at Show Z Store, pretty much anywhere else that sells 3-0 stuff. Yellow Park has put out some pictures of their Transformers 1 figures that are for the Transformer 1. They're pre-assembled model kits that you just kind of have to put together 10 steps or something. This is the Orion Pax Optimus Prime. Here's the Alito 1, which I actually think is pretty interesting and pretty cool. And yet again, another non-transforming figure that definitely can benefit from not having to transform. This is the Bumblebee B127, and for whatever it is, looks okay. It's kind of gold. It's like a gold bug. And then here's the Megatron D16 cogged bot mode. And there it is in the packaging. Different packaging, kind of a departure from what they've done in the past. And sticking with the Yellow Park, we have the Nemesis Prime pre-orders will be up in September. Now, I actually kind of thought I missed it. I was like, well, I missed it. I think I missed it. But I guess I didn't. Wait till September. Anyway, pretty cool. I support pretty much everything in this line, this G1. It's pretty exciting. I think they've done great work with it so far, and look forward to seeing what else is coming down the pipeline. Technically, the next one coming is still Starscream. So I'm not seeing much Legends news this week, which that's a good and a bad thing. It's a plus and a minus. But this is Balin Toys with their update on their Jetfire and Optimus Prime. Just the alt modes here. But they're making some progress, I guess. And will be interesting. And they do transform and combine together and take my parts kind of thing. So that works. But this is pretty much all we got out of it was some alt mode pictures. And it looks like it's coming along really well. In fact, I'm really surprised how much bigger Jetfire is than Prime. But maybe I shouldn't be. So this is a picture posted by Via at CS3167. And I want to point out, well, I've just been wanting to know this new $90 Commander Class Optimus Prime and how it compares to the Magnus, which was actually a $90 figure also. And I think that scales together very well. But my conversation about this figure is I didn't pre-order it, and it's selling really well. People are really excited for it. But I really like the Magic Square Masterpiece. And if they can make the Magic Square Masterpiece, and they can make the Magic Square Masterpiece a Legends, how come someone doesn't make a KO mid-size one for Hasbro fans for a reasonable price? Because Pengu Toys KO oversized that mold to like 18 inches. So why is there not one for the Hasbro? Is that a lane that Magic Square could get in trouble for? Again, a KO company doesn't care about laws or trouble. They'll do whatever they want. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet, and I think it would still be a superior figure. This looks cool, it looks good, but I still think that a KO mid-size for Hasbro collectors for like the $50 range, $60 range would sell like hotcakes. Alright, so right here on YouTube, Toys R Us got his hands on the Knight Rider X Transformer Agent Knight. I do want to point out this is a $50 figure. It's a good size in vehicle mode, so it is probably considered a Voyager in scale. But it looks really good. It looks like it has a really nice shiny sheen. It does have a light up LED feature in the front. A lot of cool stuff they've done with this. And yeah, stepping back, it's worth $50 for just how cool it is, the uniqueness. Then the size, it's almost as big as, I guess dude's got the Commander Class Prime in there too. And the Transformers 1 Megatron, is that right? Anyway, Toys R Us on YouTube got this. Pretty cool, but it's the in-hand pictures and comparisons that are the most important in my opinion, and really good comparison right here. This is a big bot for Hasbro collectors. All right, so Burger King is making some, well, not making, they're distributing these toys for the Transformers 1 movie. I want to put this out there. Fast food premiums have a history of being lousy toys. They're just not good action figures if they make an action figure. And they've got to have some sort of weird gimmick to them. But premium collectors love collecting them. And it's nice to be able to get $1 toys or something like that. Or basically free if you just buy the kids' meal. So it'd be kind of interesting to see how this turns out. But don't expect very high quality or anything great out of them. Of course, they're the bottom of the price point of all toys are the premiums at fast food. But I guess they're coming to Burger King, so that's cool. It's interesting. I mean, there's worse properties out there they could put premiums out for. Trust me. I've got two pictures I snapped when I was out and about. Sludge. It's a sludge fest out there right now. Sludge fest. $27 sludges, and I saw probably 3 or 4 of them as I was doing my rounds. I want to point this out. I was so tempted to buy another one. I just don't need another one. I have 2. One set to open and one set to keep sealed. So I didn't buy any more. But if you're interested, you have been waiting on a sludge to go on sale, then this is your time. Attack, $27, because it's a good time. It's a good figure. The packaging sucks because A, you can't see the figure, and B, almost every package is damaged. So I saw this at a toy shop. They're not really huge into Transformer collecting themselves. The lower legs appear to be backwards, and the back piece isn't seated into place. But this is my first time seeing the pumpkin Unicron, and also my son's first time seeing the pumpkin Unicron, and my son really wants one of these now, really bad. And I gotta admit, the orange is quite striking on this figure. Very, very nice. The 01 Studio Cell Unicron. I've got the first release. Now I'm kind of wishing I would have picked this one up, because this one looks phenomenal. So transforming out of Transformer news into something G.I. Joe Classified. I don't really have anything new for Classified, but I was looking up something on Walmart, and I was suggested this, and it told me I bought it one time back when it was $40-something. They canceled it. Now here it is, $75 on sale, but it still tells me I bought it once, but I didn't really. They canceled it, but throwing it in my face there, it's so strange. I'm not complaining about Classified. I'm complaining about Walmart and their multiple G.I. Joe Classified failures. It really sucks trying to get something exclusive from Walmart. It's terrible. Sometimes the Classified stuff makes me just want to collect vintage only when it comes to Joe. I'm not joking, but anyway, getting into some Turtles news, Cowabunga collection, and they got some cool stuff in here. I do have to admit that this is the new comic and cartoon collection. These figures are enticing. And I also want to say that the deeper cuts that they go, the cooler and better the line is. But the less and less people that are interested. And I really feel like, well, I don't even know. I don't know how so many products can get produced for TMNT and they keep making them, but they look good. So here's a picture of their Mirage Comics Rat King. I thought it looked pretty cool, so figured I'd show a picture of that. I'm not going to show absolutely everything because there's just so much, but you saw it all in the first picture. These guys, the wrestling ring, which we saw this previewed at one of the events, but still, it's kind of cool to see this stuff getting put out there. And then Vacation, Rocksteady, and Bebop. Kind of interesting, too, that we're getting a Rocksteady Bebop in the 1/18th scale from Joy Toy this week also. But cool looking stuff, interesting, coming from Neca. So there's more TMNT mix and match figures from Playmates, and it's Wingnut, Pigeon Pete, Genghis Frog, and East River. And the East River look for these new TMNT figures from Playmates. I gotta say that I think Playmates, A, prices these right, and B, these are different enough that I can see the appeal. Now, I haven't really picked up much of these other than ones that were on clearance for $5. I really feel like the bad guys are the coolest ones of all of them. So, those, for whatever reason, haven't hit clearance. So, Playmates is either doing the right thing by, A, pricing at $10 and making them interesting enough and affordable and fun to collect, or they're not producing very many. But I think they're producing plenty, and I've got some proof of that. Saw several Walmarts today that actually had these. So I picked me up a set of the remastered Turtles. And yeah, I kind of agree with pretty much everything everybody said. They are cool. They're interesting. They're very reasonably priced. $13 each. I can't be mad at that at all. And they come with a ton of accessories. Even my son was saying the level of accessories for $13 is highly impressive. It's very impressive. So I have to agree with him on that. But the texture on them is a little weird. And I'm just curious what they do in the future and how the Shredder turns out and all that, those kind of things. But still, it's an interesting kind of Origins line. Kind of like the Moshi Origins. Very cool. Alrighty then. McFarlane Toys, DC Superpowers, 4.5-inch figures, Batman, TDKR variant, Superman, Fleischer variant, and a 3-pack accent gold label bundle. Now, the bundle is $49.99. No. That's the 2 figures plus the 3-pack is $49.99. So that makes sense. Available at their site, at McFarlane Toy Store's site. So $50 makes sense for 5 figures. That's not bad because they're supposed to be 10 each. So that works out if you're interested. I'm not interested. I really am getting lost in all these repainting Batman and Superman over and over and over, and now Wonder Woman's involved. I just don't get it. I really don't. And I'd like to see new characters. I don't even care if they use the same buck. I mean, keep using the same buck, give us new characters. But just the repainting of Batman and Superman, it's getting old. Really old. Or am I the only one that feels that way? But I guess I'm passing on it. But if you're excited about this, then, go after it. Go after it. Now, I think I've mentioned this before, but Biker Mice from Nacelle is showing up at Walmart. And I want to say that I'm more excited about that than the average thing I see at Walmart. Because does this mean we're going to get the Power Lords there? Does this mean we're going to see a lot of the other franchises that they have showing up there? Because we already know that there's going to be a Sectaurs Walmart exclusive. And will that exclusive start showing up at the stores? And how much Nacelle product could get in there? How big can this go? Will this drive their price down or just keep their price low? I mean, 30 is reasonable. It's a reasonable price for something like this. How well is it selling? I don't know. But I gotta say that it's exciting with the ability to get into Walmart and maintain a decent, reasonable price. It's a pretty good future for Nacelle and their product lines going forward. Alright, Sideshow fully reveals Wave 1 of Cantina figures and opens pre-orders for 1/6 scale figures. So this is 12-inch figures for a Cantina, and I'm guessing there's going to be multiple waves. This is interesting if you're into the 12-inch. I'm not really into it so much. There's not a lot of Star Wars news, and it's interesting, too, that we get a HasLab Cantina, and now we're getting these 12-inch figures. There's no... In my mind, there's no correlation, but there kind of has to be, right? Like, they just funded that Cantina, and now we get 12-inch Cantina figures. Maybe so the 1/6 scales can play in that realm, that the collectors can be part of that, because, I mean, there's really no mixing and matching it. But these all look really good. Very, very interesting, very impressive. Still, I think they're more affordably priced than Hot Toys. Maybe I'm wrong. I just looked up Ponda Baba. It is $275. Okay, I've been known to be wrong. So $270. That's well over $1,000 right there for those figures. Quite expensive. If you're into it, though. All right, this is another bad picture. I took some pictures while we were out. $3 for this thing. That's where I like to live, in the $3 range for a Dark Trooper. I actually was thinking it was going to be like $8 or something. I knew they were on sale or clearance. $3. If you see these at your Walmarts, they might be $3. I mean, it depends on your area and how they mark stuff down. It wasn't even marked. It was just on the normal shelf. But I've heard about these things going on clearance, so I had to help myself to one. And $3, pleasant surprise. So, breaking news, the Acolite series is officially canceled. I'm guessing there's not going to be a season 2. I haven't watched it, so I really cannot really put any input into it, other than the fact that if you're not watching it because the price of Disney Plus is too high, then, well, that's part of the problem. They're upping their price of their Disney Plus, so there's less people with access to view it, so they have lower viewership. Even if it was a good series, because some people said they like it, some people said they hate it, but even if it was a good series, my brother says he's enjoying it, so that's one thing. But even if it was a good series, there's just less people with access to it, and less people with access to it means that you're going to have low numbers no matter what. But with that, they also have a very high overhead. It's costing $180 million to make this, and that's a lot of money for making just one of these series. It's the lowest watched live action series that they've had, and so all these add up to it being canceled. And what's the future going to look like for Star Wars? Not really sure. But I also found out there's a clause in Disney Plus that the simplified term is that you really can't sue Disney if you get hurt at their parks. If you've signed up for Disney Plus, you've agreed to that. I haven't looked into it that deep, but that's what I heard. I thought it was kind of interesting. But anyhow, this is interesting news to find them canceling it. I guess they had plans for a second season. Alright, so let me know what else is going on out there in the world that I didn't talk about. What do you think about this week's weekly news interview? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and Teddy Hang out.